pandas. Okay, so we are talking about what is what is a numpy. Okay, so I am talking about a numpy, and previous in two session I think we have talked about a fundamental of Python. Okay, and I think all of you guys are basically receive a recording, and along with that recording, the notebook is also available. Okay, so I just want to basically in that notebook definitely you guys can observe one or two basically extra advanced features. Okay, so like I think in that notebook I add maybe a sorting function. So I think you are able to understand that what do you mean by a sorting. So I think everyone knows about a sorting function. So in a sorting we just try to sort the elements which is present in an array. Okay, so maybe in ascending order or maybe in a descending order, and there is one more function available which is basically called sorting arg sort. Okay, so with the help of arg sort, we are if you are trying to basically sort the indexes. Okay, so that is what I think I've added in that notebook, and I think maybe one more thing is included in that. And one important concept, I think, which I just forget to tell you, that you can also read an image. Okay, so you can also read an image with a NumPy. Okay, so definitely, if I want, I can read an image with the help of a NumPy. Okay, so let me show you, and after that, we are going to start our today's session, which is on basically a pandas. And pandas again is very important library. And don't worry about basically timing in a pandas, because we have, I think I just mentioned basically a two session on a pandas. So I think in two session we can definitely cover all the aspects. Okay, so which is maybe a necessary one. Okay, so which is maybe a necessary one, so we can definitely able to cover all that points. Okay, so suppose if you are trying to maybe some any kind of image. Okay, so most probably with the help of a NumPy you are trying to basically read a grayscale image. Okay, so grayscale image means a black and white kind of image. So how you can basically read that kind of a image with the help of NumPy. Okay, so I can write it as like PIL import from PIL import image. Okay, and then you also want to display basically this image. So from IPython, from IPython dot display import display. Fine. So I can use basically these two libraries. So to basically import an image. So use any kind of image, and then we can display this image. Okay. So how we can basically read an image. Okay. So the very first thing, that how we can basically read any kind of an image. Okay. So I can read in this way. Okay. So image dot open, and then I can provide basically image name. Okay, so whatever the basically image name you can provide here. So my image name is nothing but cover.jpeg. So this is nothing but a cover page of our YouTube channel. I think you guys must basically go see this kind of a cover page on our YouTube channel whenever you are trying to basically see the recording. Okay, and now if I try to write one basically thing, a display. So with the help of a display, means with the help of basically a display, I am able to I am able to display this image, and I think here also I am able to basically display this image. So there is nothing fancy about it, but surely I want to basically cover this thing inside a variable so that I can show you more thing. Now, if I want to basically pixels of this image, okay. So what happens is, so inside a machine learning or inside a deep learning, so I already and one more thing, okay, so in a later stage, okay, so suppose if you try to learn about a machine learning, and if you're trying to learn about a deep learning, so in a later stage, after basically after completing a machine learning and in a deep learning part, so in one stage you are trying to learn about computer vision. Okay, so in a computer vision, or maybe if you are trying to do any kind of a image processing. Okay, so suppose when you are trying to basically perform, if you're trying to make a prediction on an image data set. Okay, so what kind of image is there's, okay, so maybe a image classification, or maybe a image captioning, anything related to basically image. So at that point of a time, what happens is, so definitely your algorithm, okay, so maybe a machine learning algorithm or maybe a deep learning algorithm is not able to understand basically that image. Okay, so it only can understand values. Okay, so maybe the value can be present in a form of a matrix, or the value can be present in a form of a array, but it can only understand the values. Okay, so it cannot it is not able to understand basically a whole image, or maybe anything like that. Okay, so in at that point of a time, you need to convert, you need to basically work on a pixel values. Okay, so definitely these are so basically I am having this image, so definitely I am having some pixel values. Okay, so I am having some pixel values associated with this basically image. Okay, so each and every image have a different kind of a pixel values. Okay, so maybe somewhere where my basically picture a photo is basically having a high camera quality, or maybe a high resolution power, or maybe a strong basically this image is basically a bold and red in color, so maybe the pixel value is maybe high over here, and maybe a pixel value may be less over here, in this way. Okay, so I'm just assuming. Okay, so yes, I'm able to convert this whole picture, or this whole photo in a I can get a pixel values of this. Okay, so definitely I can get a pixel values, and the pixel value I can get that pixel value in a form of an array. Okay, so when I'm basically able to get this thing in a form of array, then only I can basically perform any kind of a algorithm. Okay, so any kind of a mathematical equation, like a machine learning equation, or maybe a deep learning equation. So after getting a pixel value only, I am able to run this thing. I'm able to basically get perform any kind of a machine learning algorithm, and then get a prediction. Okay, so this is a pixel value of basically this particular image. Okay, so this is the pixel value of this particular image. Okay, so it is able to create a three-dimensional array, means a 3D array. Okay, and this is the pixel value. Okay, so now you can notice that somewhere the pixel value is very high, and somewhere the pixel value may be low. So yes, as I told you, that maybe somewhere like where your color quality is basically very high. So at that point of time, maybe a pixel value is very high, and maybe where your color quality is not as much as compared to this image. So at that point of time, maybe your pixel value is too low. Okay, so fine, guys. Yes, I'm able to do this thing. Now, if I try to check basically shape of this array, okay, definitely I'm not able to calculate the shape from here, because I'm having a multiple values in between. Okay, so yes, definitely I'm not able to draw this, but I'm having a multiple values in this. So I'm not able to basically calculate this thing manually. So how I and but you know that with the inside an NumPy there is a function available called shape. So through which you can basically check the shape of your array. Okay, so now if I try to check the shape of my array, so yes, the shape of my array is what, 426 cross 1280. Okay, so 426 rows are there and 1280 columns are there, and 3 is what? So 3 is nothing but a RGB channel. Okay, so RGB channel means what? So so in this entire world, whatever basically whatever the image you see. Okay, so any kind of image. Okay, so any kind of a image which is present in this entire world is made up of only three color channel. Okay, red, green and blue, RGB channel. Okay, so RGB means what? Red, green and blue. So any kind of a image which is available in this entire world is made up of just a three RGB channel. okay, just a 3-color channel, which is nothing but a RGB. Okay, so if you have maybe if you are trying to run this same code, or maybe if you are trying to find out the pixel values, so of maybe a grayscale image. Okay, so grayscale image means a black and white kind of image. Okay, so if you are trying to get the image of get the pixel value of that kind of image, so at that point of a time your value is what, your value is 2, because a gray scale image means what, you just having a 2-color channel, black and white. Okay, but when you are dealing with maybe a color image, okay, so any kind of a color image, so at that point of a time you are having what, you are having you are dealing in a 3-color channel. Okay, so that 3-color channel is nothing but a RGB channel, right? So this is all about, I think, a NumPy. Okay, so I think just this part is basically left inside a NumPy in yesterday's session. So yes, I'm trying to cover basically this part, and now you guys can ask me a question. Okay, so if anything, if anywhere you having a doubt, like from a previous session also, because I'm assuming that after completing the session, you guys definitely try to do that thing at home. Okay, so maybe if you're guys facing any kind of an issue or anywhere, or maybe if you're having any kind of question related to this image reading, so yes, you guys can ask me that query. Otherwise, we can definitely move on to the pandas. Okay, I think no one has any kind of question or any kind of a query. Okay, so I can move towards the pandas. Okay, so what I mean by a pandas. Okay, so what do you mean by a pandas? So pandas is nothing but data manipulation, or maybe you can say a data manipulation and data preparation. Okay, so with the help of a pandas, you are trying to basically read any kind of a data present in this entire world. Okay, so you are able to, or maybe not yes, so maybe there is some complex data type which may you are not able to read, but definitely most of the data frame. Okay, so most of the data may be present in a textual form, maybe present in a CSV format, maybe present in an Excel sheet, maybe present in a basically a text or format, or maybe present in a form of HTML or maybe a table. So the data may be present in this kind of a format. You basically with the help of a pandas, you are able to read this kind of a data. Fine. So and for using a pandas, you need to import basically a pandas on the very first place. Okay, so pandas, import pandas as PD. Fine. So you are trying to basically import pandas as PD, nothing fancy. And now with the help of this thing, okay, so just like in a NumPy, you are trying to basically import NumPy as NP. So here you are trying to write import pandas as PD. Okay, so PD is just your alias name. Now suppose if I'm trying to basically I am trying to just read some CSV file. Okay, so CSV means what? CSV means a comma separated value. So maybe I am having a different kinds of files, and that is present in a CSV format. Okay, so CSV means a comma separated value. So that data set may be present in a CSV format. And if I'm trying to basically read that kind of a data set, so how I can basically read that kind of a data set? And definitely the with the help of pandas, you are able to basically visualize your data set in a much proper way. Okay, so in a form of a data frame. Okay, so in a pandas, you are getting just a two kind of a data type. So one is a data frame, another one is a series, and definitely you can create your own data frame. Okay, so I will let you know that how you can create your own data frame, and then how you can basically manipulate any kind of a data set which is already available. Okay, so I will let you know all those things. Okay, fine, but yes, just start from a very basic so that you guys can understand each and every point. And definitely, like in a NumPy, you are having a lot of functions. So in the pandas also, you are having different kind of functions with which you can perform different kind of basically operations. Okay, so for reading any kind of a file, you can use a pd.read.csv. Okay, so pd.read.csv, and inside that you need to give basically name of your CSV file. So suppose ex1.csv. Okay, so this is a data frame which is available inside this. Okay, so if I try to show you, okay, so this is our data frame ex1.csv, and inside this ex1.csv you are having a different basically values separated by comma. Okay, so this is what we call a CSV type data. Okay, so in a CSV type data, so all the values are separated by commas. Okay, so a comma b comma c comma d comma message, then in the same way 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma hello. Okay, fine. So this is a basic this is called a CSV format. Now if I try to run this data frame, okay, so yes, now you can basically see a beautiful data frame. Okay, so fine, here it is present in this form, but when you try to basically read along with the panda, so you are able to create a data frame. Okay, so this is what we call a data frame. Okay, so this is nothing but a rows, and then this is a columns. Okay, fine. Now if I try to check a type of this data frame, okay, so what is the type of type of this df? Okay, so what is the type of this df? So the type of this df, it is written here like a pandas.code.frame.data frame. So yes, this is a kind of a data frame which I am able to basically create with the help of with the help of a pandas. Okay, now you can observe one more thing. So like these are all so this is what. Okay, so 1012 is what? So 012 is nothing but a default indexes. Okay, so whenever the index value is not given, so it tries to take a default indexes. Okay, so I think in the same way it can take a default basically column name also. Okay, so it can take a default column name, but I think in this place it will try to take a first value. Okay, so whatever the first value, so the first column as basically a column name. Okay, which is not a good thing. Okay, so which is not a good thing. So definitely I'm trying to do some changes and then trying to basically correct it. But before that, maybe if I want to check some more functionality. Okay, so suppose if I want to access maybe one column. Okay, so there is a four columns A, B, C, D, and MSS. Okay, so five columns are available there. So suppose if I want to access just one column, so how I can access maybe just one column? Okay, so this is a way through which I can access just a single column. Fine. So yes, you can you are able to access this column. Now if I try to check the type of this maybe a single column. Okay. So if I try to check a type of the single column, so the type of this single column is nothing but a series. Okay. So this is these are basically two kinds of data types which is available inside Python, pandas. Okay, so if you try to check maybe a complete thing. Okay, so the complete df is the type of this whole df is nothing but a data frame, and but the type of maybe when we're trying to check the type of just a single column. Okay, not only not even two columns. Okay, so if I try to check maybe two columns all together, so again it becomes a data frame. Okay, but if you try to check the basically type of just a one column, so in that place it becomes so the type of that one column is what? The type of that one column is nothing but a series. Fine. Now, if I try to check, okay, so this looks similar to basically a list. But if I try to check what is the difference between a list and a series, okay, so just try to create one list. Okay, maybe in the same way. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then if I try to basically run this L. Okay, so this is basically a kind of a list. So now you can observe the difference. Okay, so when you are trying to basically when you are trying to basically use the you are trying to basically use this series, so in that place automatically the index value are also given. Okay, so automatically the index value are also given. Okay, but in a list, okay, so when we are trying to basically run the list, so in that place there is no index values. Okay, so this is the difference between a list and a series. Okay, so in a series automatically index value are basically given, default index values are present, but in a list there is no index value. Fine. Now, if I want to if I just want to take two columns altogether, okay, so if I want to access two columns, okay, now here I just try to access just a single column. Suppose if I try to access, maybe if I want to access a double column, or two columns are together. Okay, so how I can access? So maybe if I try to access in a same way, okay, so D and then comma C. Okay, so let's check whether I am able to access it or not. No, I'm not able to access it in this way because it is giving me an error. Okay, so it is giving me an error, that key error D and C. Okay, but the key name. Okay, so the key name is yes, but I'm having a key name as D and C, but it is giving me an error. Okay, so why it is giving me an error? Although I'm having although I am having this kind of a key D and C, but then also I'm getting an error. So why I'm getting this kind of error? So because if you try to basically if you want to access a two columns all together, okay, so at that point for time you need to put this thing, okay, you need to put this basically two columns in a list. Okay, so just try to remember this thing, guys. So whenever you are trying to basically access a single column, so yes, you can access in this way. Okay, so there is no issue, so you can access in this way. But whenever you are trying to access maybe a two columns all together, so you need to put that two columns in a list. Okay, now you are able to access it. Okay, so now you are able to access these two columns all together. And suppose in this place, if I want to check the data frame, if I want to check the data frame, so I think you guys can basically you guys can understand or can guess that what is basically type of this TF. Okay, so type of this TF is nothing but a data frame, because now it becomes a data frame. Okay, so whenever you are trying to basically access a single column, so at that point of a time the type of that DF is nothing but a series. But if the column so anywhere, if a column a number is greater than 1, so it becomes a data frame. Fine. So I think I think there is no issue and no doubt in this. You guys are able to understand, because this is an important one. Okay, so people can ask you the question. Okay, so it can be asked in a interview that what is the series, what is the difference between series and list, and then what is the difference between a series and a data frame. Okay, so I think now you guys can able to understand that what is the difference between these two. Okay, now if I run this data frame, and now if I want to check, okay, so here I want to basically I want to use this thing as a value. Okay, so I don't want to use this A, B, C, D as my, so I don't want to use this thing as a column name. Okay, because in actual sense, okay, because I already see in my CSV file, so I know that in actual sense these are all values which is available inside a data frame, which is basically available in my data frame. These are not basically a column names. Okay, so these are not a column names, but then also it is available as a column name. So why this thing happen, and how I can basically change this thing, and I can how I can basically use this column as a value, and in this place then I'm able to basically what I'm able to create maybe my own column, or maybe this column I can basically leave it as a default values. Okay, so default values means what? So just like in indexes I got a 0 1 2, so here I can get a 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, or maybe I can create my own column name. That both the things are fine, both the things are completely fine. So what I can do, so at a time of a reading, at a time when I'm trying to basically read a data frame, so pd dot read CSV. So now I will basically show you the values which is available inside this box. Okay, in this parenthesis. I think you all know that inside this parenthesis, if you after going inside this parenthesis, if you press the shift or shift and tab button together, So you get all kinds of keywords which you need to basically use inside this. Okay, so on the very first place, what you need to pass, so you need to pass the file path. Okay, file path means suppose if you are working in some other directory and your file is present maybe some other directory, so you need to write the file path. Or so here my data set is present on the same place. Okay, so on the same directory and on the same folder where I am trying to basically create this notebook. So I don't need to describe the path. I just try, I can only give the, I can access that CSV file only with the basically name of that CSV file. Okay, so the name of CSV file is nothing but a ex1.csv. Fine. Now if I check what are the other values. Okay, so other keywords are what? A separator. Okay, so by default your separator, or you can also say it as a delimiter, so your separator is always a comma. Okay, so whenever you are trying to read CSV, okay, so whenever you are trying to read CSV, so your separator is what? Your separator is comma. Fine. Now suppose if you want to read any Excel sheet, or maybe if you try to read maybe data which is present in a tabular format. Okay, so maybe there is some data which is present in a tabular format, or maybe some data which is present in a HTML format. So at that point for time, okay, so at that point for time, if you try to read that data with the CSV file itself, okay, so with the help of read CSV itself, so at that point of time, you can basically remove this separator. Okay, so in place of a comma, so suppose if your data present in a tabular format, so you can just put basically a single line at that point of time. Okay, so if I can show you if there is something written about the separator. Okay, so by default it is an comma, and definitely you can choose you can change it. Okay, so yes, you can for a table reading you can write in this way /t. Okay, so fine guys, that is the meaning of a separator. Now I'm basically talking about that how I can basically change this header. Okay, because this is what, this is my header. Okay, and by default it choose it treat it as a column values, but it is not a column values, as I know that this is the values which is present inside my data. Okay, so what I can do, so in place of a header is equals to infer. Okay, so in place of a header is equals to infer, I can write header is equals to none. Okay, so in place of header is equals to infer, I can write header is equals to none. Now it will not treat my basically a value of my first values which is present on my first index as a column. Okay, now if I run this. Okay, so yes, it will create a default column names. Okay, so this is the default column name 0 1 2 3 and 4 and 0 1 2 3. So this is the default column names. Fine guys, so I think till here everyone is able to understand. These are the very small functions which is available inside a pandas. Fine. Now, if I try to, okay, in a later stage, I also show you that how you can create your own data frame, and might be if you try to notice here. So there is in your own data frame, you can give your own index name and you can give your own column name. Okay, so that is completely fine. Okay, so yes, in a later stage, we will definitely do that thing. Maybe so you can find that there is a different value. So columns is given, then the index is given. Okay, so there are different kinds of things which is available, and with that I can create my own data frame. Okay, but yes, definitely we will talk on this thing on a later stage. But before that, suppose if I have any proper data set. Okay, so I think till now I think maybe if you learn little bit of a machine learning also, so you can know about kind of a proper data set. Okay, so now if you don't learn anything about this, so now I will show you that how basically a proper data set looks like. Okay, So here, so this is the data set. This is the CSV file which is created by me itself. Okay, and you can create this kind of a CSV file. There is no issue. But maybe there is some data set which is available, and on that data set, if you are trying to make any kind of analysis, or you are trying to make any kind of a prediction on that particular data set. Okay, so there is basically a different kinds of a data set which is available, which is freely available as an open source. And one of those data set is nothing but a Titanic data set. Okay, so maybe when you're trying to do a machine learning also, so maybe this can be your first data set, or maybe a second data set through to which you can basically deal with. Okay, so a Titanic data set. So in a Titanic data set, there are basically different columns, and then there is one column on which you are trying to make a prediction. Okay, so I just try to show you that data set. So from there, your concept becomes so that is become easier for you to understand. Okay, so df dot read CSV, and this data set also present in a form of the CSV, so there is no issue. So train dot CSV. Okay, so it is showing me that. Okay, so, oh sorry, pd dot read CSV. I just tried. Okay, fine. Now, if I try to show you the Titanic data set. So this is a Titanic data set, okay, and there are different columns and a different. So this is nothing but a rows, okay. So our default index values is given 0, 1, 2, 5, 6, and a total 891 rows are there, and 12 columns are basically present inside these rows. And if I try to check the columns, okay, so you are having a passenger ID, then you are having a column survived. Okay, so this is a column on which you are trying in a later stage you can make a prediction. Okay, so whether the passenger is going to survive or not. Maybe I'm having a data of just 891 people. Maybe there may be any kind of a person who comes at 892nd position. Okay, and maybe all the features are given, all the values of all the columns are given, p class and the name and the sex and the age, shifts parts, everything is given. And then you need to determine, you need to basically make a prediction whether that passenger is going to survive or not. Okay, so survive or not means what? 0 and 1. So 1 means yes, it is yes, he is going to survive, and 0 means what? It is yes, no, he is not going to survive. Fine. So, but definitely we don't have any. We are not going to do all this kind of stuff, because this is a this is a problem in a machine learning. Okay, so we are not going to learn machine learning over here. But yes, just a little bit of idea. But definitely with the help of a pandas, you can do a data analysis. So what kind of a data analysis you can do? Okay, so suppose yes, the data set is available to you. So now you can make analysis. Okay, so like in this particular data set. Okay, so in a data set itself, so there is a p class. Okay, so there is a p class. So p class is nothing but a passenger class. Okay, so like in our maybe in a train. Okay, so whenever you're trying to travel with the train, so there is a different kind of a classes, maybe AC1, AC2, and AC3. Okay, so in the same way, you can consider it as a P class. So passenger class 1, then passenger class 2, then the passenger class 3. Okay, so now you can basically make an analysis that basically in which class people are survived more. Okay, so maybe in passenger class 1, people are survived more. Maybe in passenger class 2, people are survived more. Or maybe in passenger class 3, people are survived more. Okay, and definitely with the help of with the sex column also, you can make this kind of analysis. So basically a male is more survived, or maybe a female is more survived, so you can make this kind of analysis. Okay, so but yes, we are going to look at this kind of analysis in a later stage. But now we are trying to perform some kind of a operation or some kind of a function with the help of a pandas on this data set, or maybe you can say on this data frame. Okay, so suppose you don't want to look at from to all the data set. You don't want to look at all the data set. Okay, just you don't you just want to visualize a first 5 rows, or maybe a first 10 rows. So for that purpose, you can use one thing which is called a head. Okay, so with the help of data.head. Okay, so my name of my data frame is not data; it is a Titanic. Okay, So you can utilize first 5 rows. Okay, so why you can utilize a first 5 rows? Because by default the value of n is nothing but a 5. So maybe if you try to increase this value, so you can visualize a 10 data set. Okay, fine. In the same way, you can use with the head you can utilize a 10 data, basically 10 data from from okay, so from the top of the basically a data frame. Okay, but suppose if you're trying to visualize values from the bottom of the data frame, so for that purpose you can use a tail. Okay, and by default the value inside a tail is also basically a 5. Okay, so that is also a 5. And now you can utilize a 10 data set from the bottom of the data frame. Fine. So a 10 data set from the bottom of the data frame and the 10 data set from the basically head of the data frame. Fine. So yes, you can basically do this kind of a thing with the head, with the help of a head and tail. Now suppose if you want to see the shape of the data frame. Okay, so what is the shape of my data set? Okay, so Titanic dot shape. Okay, so shape is nothing but 891 cross 12. Okay, so it means what? 891 cross 12 means 891 rows are there and then the 12 columns are there. Fine. Now suppose if you want to just access one maybe a row, or sorry, one column. Okay, so suppose if you want to access a one column, so for that purpose you can access one column in this way. So Titanic dot the name of the column. Okay, so the column which you want to access. Okay, so just try to write a name of that column which you want to access. So suppose if I want to access a name column. Okay, so in this way you can access basically a name column, but it will not definitely you and you know that this is not a data frame. Okay, so if I try to check the type of this thing, so it is what it is, basically a series. Okay, so suppose, okay, and you know that if you try to access just a single column, so the type of a data frame or the type of that particular data frame is what, the type of that particular data frame is become a series. Fine. So that is completely fine. But if I ask you, if I basically told you that no, just try to access a single column, but try to access in that way so that I can visualize that a single column in a form of a data frame. Okay, so the type of that particular column is must be a data frame. It cannot be a series. Okay, so suppose if I ask you this question, so how you can do this kind of a job? Okay, so now I am trying to access a single column. Okay, not a two or three column. I'm trying to access in a single column, but I'm trying to access in that way that column is basically the type of that column is not altered. The type of that basically a column is a data frame itself. Okay, so for that purpose you can do one thing. So Titanic, and now you can try to access in this way. Okay, so inside a list. Okay, so yes, now you can observe that this comes in a form of a data frame. Okay, so now if you check the type of this thing, so the type of this thing is nothing but a series. But if you try to check a type of this particular thing, so the type of this particular thing is nothing but a data frame. Okay, so yes, you can access one single column also as a data frame. Fine. Now again, I think if I think now if you can easily give the answer, and guys just try to be a little bit interactive. Okay, so if anyone if anyone basically trying to do this job along with me, so that is much beneficial for you. So suppose if I try to access maybe two columns altogether. Okay, so if I ask you the question, try to access a two columns altogether. So I think now you know. Okay, so how you can access a two columns altogether. Okay, I think I already told you this thing. Okay, so you can try to access a two columns in a list. Okay, so in that way, yes, you are able to access a two columns altogether. So the name column, and then maybe I can take one more column, maybe age column, and yes, you can access these two column altogether. Fine. So yes, the name of maybe this person is nothing but a 22. Then the name of this person is nothing but a 38. Okay, so yes, I am able to access these columns altogether. Now try to check maybe a different kind of a functionality. Okay, so what are maybe a different kind of a functions which is available inside a Pandas. So in this place, suppose if I want to try one more thing. Okay, so Titanic.info. Okay, so what do you mean by a Titanic.info? Okay, so what kind of information basically you are getting if you are trying to if you're trying to check a Titanic.info. Okay, so if I try to perform a Titanic.info, so I think yes, you guys can able to visualize the kind of information you are getting. Okay, so you are getting a basically a data type, or so you are getting a basically two kind of information. Okay, so one kind of information is what? So one kind of information you are getting basically a data type. Okay, and then you are getting maybe a two kind of information. Okay, so how many basically values are present, and how many values are basically a non-null. Okay, so definitely I come out to this point that what do you mean by a non-null. So non-null means if there is if all the values are present. Okay, so in your column, if all the values are present, there is so maybe in an age column. Okay, so you can see that in an age column 714 non-null values. So inside a age column there might be some values which is not present. Okay, so if there is some places in a age column which might be vacant. Okay, so at that place there is no basically a number, so there is no number is present. Okay, so age must be in a number. Okay, so at that maybe there is some places after a 714. Okay, so out of 891, so if I just remove a 714, so I think it is maybe around a 150 or maybe 150 place, 150 plus. So 150 plus values are not given. Okay, so in place of that 150 places, maybe that values that place is maybe vacant, or maybe there is something called NaN. So NaN means what? Not a number. Okay, so at that place, in place of a number, it is given as NaN. Okay, so maybe that is what that is NaN, not a null values. Okay, so fine. So this is it gives you a two kind of information that 740 non-null values are given. Okay, so it means what? Maybe 160 or 170 values are basically null in this age column. Okay, and definitely we are trying to handle that kind of a missing values. That is our job as a data analyst. Okay, now and the third kind of information which you are getting with this information. So you can try to visualize that a data type of a different columns. Okay, so the passenger ID, so the data type of passenger ID is what? Integer. Then the data type of survived column is what? Integer. Then integer. Then data type of this name column is what? Object. Okay, so object means nothing but a string. Okay, so name column is present in a form of a string. Sex column is present in a form of a string. Okay, so male and female. Fine. Then in the same way, I think a fair column is present in a form of a float. Okay, so fair must be a float, because fair means what? Fair means some values. Okay, so fair means what? Fair means some value. So 7.8, 10.5, 10.5. So these are what? These are basically a different kind of a price. Okay, so price of a ticket. Okay, so definitely when people are trying to so Titanic is so people are trying to move with the Titanic or travel with the Titanic, so they must they must give some kind of a money, so then only they are able to basically travel with the Titanic. Okay, so that is what basically fair, which is present in the form of a floating point number. Then cabin is also an object, and embarked is also an object. So that is, and at last, it basically tells you that how many values are present in a form of a float. Then how many values are present in a form of an integer, and then how many values are present in a form of an object. Okay, so 5, 5, 2. So total 12 columns are there. So two columns, the data type of two columns is nothing but a float. The data type of 5 columns is nothing but an integer, and the data type of 5 columns is nothing but an object. Fine, guys. So now if I try to check maybe another kind of a function. So, and this function is again a necessary one, and this function gives you a lot of information. So Titanic.describe, and I think if you guys, so this function is a little bit a tricky one, and you need to you definitely need to have some statistical knowledge to understand this basically function, and definitely this function is gives you a lot and lot of information which is quite necessary. Okay, so Titanic dot describe. Okay, so Titanic dot describe, it will give you all statistical information. Okay, so it will give you all statistical information, and you can observe that in this place, so all the columns are not present. Okay, so I think there is only a 7 columns are present. The rest of the 5 columns. Okay, so a 5 column which is basically an object is not present because you can't perform maybe you can't able to find out a mean, median, and mode. Sorry, a mean and median of a numerical data of a categorical data set. Okay, so 5 columns is what? So inside a 5 column there may be some object, or maybe there is some string, and you can divide your data set in 2 forms. Okay, so maybe you can say that your data set so your data set, you can divide your data in a 2 form. Okay, so one form of a data is called a numerical, and another form is called a categorical. Okay, so numerical means what? Numerical means in so on a numerical data set you can perform any kind of a mathematical operation or any kind of a arithmetic operation. So when you are able to do any kind of an arithmetic operation with a data set, so that is called a numerical data set, or that is called numerical values. But when you are not able to perform any kind of a numerical operation, or maybe your data set is present in a form of a categories, or maybe in a form of a classes. Okay, so like in a sex column there are basically 2 classes. Okay, male and female. Okay, so male is basically a one class and female is basically another class. Okay, so these are 2 kinds of a categories. Okay, so sex is having a 2 kind of a categories. Okay, so that is, one is male and another one is female. Okay, so that is what we call a categorical columns. Okay, so that is what we call a categorical columns. And definitely if I give you a very short definition, so on a numerical data set you can perform any kind of a arithmetic operation, but you can't perform any kind of an arithmetic operation on a categorical data set. Okay, so this is basically a difference between a numerical data set and a categorical data set, and this is and these are basically two kinds of a data set which is present inside your data set. Okay, guys. So now I think you guys are able to understand different kinds of a data set. Now, if I tell you basically what are the meaning of these things. Okay. So count means what? So I think you are able to understand the meaning of a count. So count means what? So count means total number of passengers. Okay, so 891 passengers are there. Then 891 survived values are there. Then 891 P class values are there. Then 714 values of age are there. Okay, so 714 age means what? So definitely I will show you. I show you that 714 non-null values. So non-null values means what? So basically after a 714 there are basically what, there are some null values. Okay, so it is not count a null values. Okay, so it will only count what? So count is only count the not null values. Fine. Now then you have a 891 values inside a sieve sp, and then you are having 891 values inside a parts column, and then same in a pair. Now this is a mean. Okay, so mean means what? Average of a data set. Okay, so I think the average of a age data set, because you know that inside a survived column, or maybe inside a P class, or maybe inside a SIP SP, then parts, basically you are having what? You are having definitely you have numerical values. You have a values 1, 2, 3. So these are basically a numerical values, but that values are not basically a perfectly numericals. Okay, because these are just a 1, 2, 3, or maybe 0, 1, 2. Okay, so that is not a perfectly numerical. But yes, you are having a 2 columns like age and fair columns, in which your values are basically variated. Okay, means there is some wage where there is some people whose age maybe maybe a 6 month, or maybe there is some people which is whose age is maybe 80 years, or maybe a 57 years. Fine. So these are the basically a mean value. Mean means what? Average. Okay, so on an average, the age of the person who is trying to travel with the Titanic is 29.6, means a 30 Okay, so on an average means what? So most of the people who is trying to travel with a Titanic ship is basically that their age is what? Their age is 30. Okay, and on an average, fare is what? So fare is nothing but a 32.2. Fine. Now, what do you mean by standard deviation? So, standard deviation means what? Standard deviation means how many values you are trying to fluctuate from your data set. Okay, so fluctuation in your data set. Okay, so how many values you are trying to deviate from your mean value. Okay, so suppose I think in our childhood, in a physics lab, in maybe in 11th or 12th class, you are trying to use a vernier calipers. Okay, screw gauge. Okay, where you are trying to find out diameter of maybe something. Okay, maybe a diameter of hair or maybe anything. You are trying to find out diameter with the help of what I didn't remember the exact name. Maybe vernier caliper, you can say it, or maybe a screw gauge. So you're trying to find out the diameter, and when you're trying to note the reading. Okay, so you are trying to note the reading in maybe in this way. Okay, so 0.01 plus minus maybe 1 plus minus 0.01. Okay, so 0.01 is what? So plus minus 0.01 is what? Plus minus 0.01 is just your error. Okay, so error means what? So maybe you can go in a positive direction, you can go 0.01, or maybe you can go in a negative direction in a 0.01. So it gives you what? It gives you the kind of a range. Okay, so this is what basically a standard deviation means. So your mean value is what? Your average value is basically a 29 or maybe a 30, or maybe in a screw gauge case, you can say your mean in a case of a diameter, you can say your mean value is what? Your mean value is 1, and you are trying to fluctuate from your mean value. Okay, so you are trying to fluctuate from mean value from with the value of 0.01 or maybe a 0.02 or maybe a 0.03. I think everyone is basically watching a cricket. So I think and when batsman comes out to the bat, so you can watch that average strike rate and average run is basically written on a statistic of every player. Okay, so average means what? So in a particular series, so maybe in some of the series, average score of a Rohit Sharma is basically about a 70 plus or maybe 80 plus. Okay, so it means what? So most of the time he's maybe if he's playing a 5 ODI series, and after that ODI series his average is about 80. So it means what? So most of the time he's able to score around that 80. Okay, so maybe a 90, maybe a 100, or maybe sometime a 70, maybe a sometime a 50. So on an average he is able to score 80, and whatever the values, whatever the actual run he is getting. Okay, so maybe in a next match he's able to get maybe a 75 runs. Okay, then maybe in the next match he's able to get maybe a 90 runs, then maybe in the next match he's able to score a 60 runs. Okay, so this is what the fluctuation also. So okay, so in case of a 60, the fluctuation is about a 20 units. Okay, so the fluctuation is of a 20 runs. Okay, in case of a 90, so the fluctuation is of basically a 10. Okay, so this standard deviation is nothing but a range. Okay, so maybe if I ask you the question, what is the speed of your bike when you are basically trying to ride on a road? So you can say my speed is ranges from 40 to 100. Okay, so on an average, you can say that on an average my speed is around 70, and but yes, my speed is ranges from 40 to 100. So you can say that your average value, your mean value is 70, and your standard deviation is 30. Okay, so plus minus 30, so maybe it is a 40, or sometimes it becomes 100. Fine, so this is the meaning of a standard deviation. Then there is a mean value. So a mean value is what? A 0.42 means in that sheep basically there definitely there may be some child whose age is around 4 month. Okay, so there may be some child who's around 4 month. Okay, then 25th percent. So this is a 25th, 50th percent, and 75th percent means what? So this is a percentile. Okay, so I think we don't have enough time to discuss the percentile, but if I give you the example, so like if I just give you the example, so I think everyone aware of the percentiles. Okay, so I think in a CAT examination or maybe in a GATE examination also, so you guys can see this kind of a percentiles. Okay, so percentile means what? So if you're getting a 25th, so if you're able to score maybe a 90th percentile, So 90th percentile means out of the total students. Okay, so out of the total students who are trying to give the exam, so out of that total number of students, you are you are ahead of 90% students. Okay, so out of the total students, whatever the data of that total number of students, you are ahead of the 90% of the students. That is the meaning of a 90th percentile. Okay, in the same way, if you're able to score just a 25th or 25 percentile, so it means what, you are ahead of a 25% of the students who are basically given the exam. So this is what a percentile means. Okay, so this is the 25th percentile, then this is a 50th percentile, and 50th percentile is also basically referred to a median. Okay, so I think in a statistics, in a descriptive statistics, you heard the mean, median, and mode. Okay, so this is nothing but a median. Okay, and then there is a 75th percentile, and then there is a maximum value. So maximum value means what, the maximum value of there is so there may be some person, or there may be a 1 or 2 person whose age is maybe what, whose age is 80. Okay, so in this Titanic ship, so people are basically so there are basically a persons whose there are a different kinds of there is a person whose age is basically maybe so the range of age of a person is nothing but a 4 month to 80 years. Okay, fine. So this is the meaning of this particular describe. Okay, so in this way, in a same way, in a similar way, you can observe basically you can observe your analysis. You can make your analysis on this fair data set. Fine, guys. So I think now it is you are able to understand, and definitely you are able to make one very important analysis with the help of this describe. That is, you can find out whether your data set containing outliers or not. Okay, so I will let you know that how you can find out the outliers and what do you mean by the outliers. Okay, so I think you know that what do you mean by outliers. Okay, so if I ask you the question, what do you mean by the outliers? Okay, so outliers are the values which is away from your normal data set. Okay, which is far away from your normal data set. Okay, so maybe if I try to take a data set, if I try to basically make some observation, or if I try to make conduct a survey. So in that survey, suppose if I try to basically calculate the height of the person, okay, or maybe the weight of the person. Okay, so if I try to make this survey in just one locality, or maybe in maybe one area, in that area, so suppose most of the people, the weight of the most of the person is lying between 50 and 60. Okay, so if I get so suppose so I get some kind of data set, maybe a 51, then 52, 53, 54, 55, and I'm in this way I'm trying to conduct a survey of maybe 100 people. So out of that 100 people, 90 people weights lying between 50 to 65, or maybe 50 to 70. But there are a few people whose weight so maybe there are few people whose weight is maybe a 30, and there are few people whose weight may be a 120 or 130. Okay, so they are called outliers. Okay, so these are called the outliers. Okay, so these values are considered to be the outliers, which is basically far away from your normal distribution. Okay, so normal distribution means what? So most of the values are lying between 50 to 70, but there are a few values who is trying to disturb your distribution, who is trying to alter your distribution, and they are basically far away from the reality. Okay, so they are basically so there may be some so definitely there may be some person whose weight is maybe a 130 or maybe 140. Okay, so they are away from a normal distribution, so I can consider themselves as an outliers. Okay, odd one out, you can say, you can simply understand in this way, odd one out is basically an outliers. Fine, guys. So I think till this point, everyone is able to understand. So I just took 1 minute of a break, and if anyone having any kind of issue, so yes, you guys can ask me. Okay, guys. Okay, so try to move forward. Okay, maybe okay, so if I try to check how many columns. Okay, so I think in this place I am able to check a description or a statistical description, or maybe only the numerical columns. Okay, only the numerical columns. So maybe if I wants to check a description of statistical description of maybe object. Okay, so the columns, so the categorical columns also. Okay, so I can check because in a categorical values also, so you can find out the mode. Okay, so in a mean median mode. So in a description statistics, you are having a mean, and then you are having a median, and then you are having a mode. So you can basically check mode of that data set. Okay, so yes, one by one if I'm trying to check, so that may be a long process, and maybe here I'm only having a 5 categorical columns, but definitely maybe in some data set you can have more than a 10 categorical columns, or maybe a 20, or maybe a 50 plus categorical columns. So in that case, how you can check descriptive statistics of, or maybe a mode of that categorical columns. Okay, so just try to access that categorical columns on the very first place, and I think that you can also consider it. You can also do that thing with the help of a Boolean masking. Okay, so there is one basically function which is available inside a pandas, are d types. Okay, so train dot d types. Okay, so with the help of a train dot d types, you can access maybe a Titanic. Okay, so the name of. Okay, so yes, you are able to observe the data types of each and every column. Okay, so in this place you can observe the data types of each and every column. Now, if I try to basically check where my data type is basically a object. Okay, so I can check maybe in this way. Okay, so a false and then a false and then true. So wherever this becomes a true, it means what? So this is yes, I am doing a Boolean masking, just like in a yesterday session in a NumPy. Also, I am doing a basically a Boolean masking. So Boolean masking, I am getting an answer in a form of a true and false by masking something. Okay, so yes, I'm getting answer in a form of a true and false by masking this thing d types. Okay, so I'm getting an answer as false false, and then true true, then false false false, then true false true true. Right, so okay, so now let's do one thing. So now try to access all the columns which are basically whose data type is basically an object. Okay, so just try to access that thing. So object is equals to Titanic dot d types, and inside that you can write in this way. Okay, so you only want to access columns whose data type is basically an object. Okay, so again you can do maybe a kind of a Boolean masking. So Titanic dot d types is equals to object. Fine, and then if I write dot index. Okay, so only those index I want to basically get. Okay, so yes, I am getting basically a column name whose data type is what, whose data type is basically an object. Fine, so yes, I'm able to do this kind of a job. Now if I try to basically get the complete data frame. Okay, so yes, I can get a complete data frame also, there is no issue. So Titanic and then a Titanic of basically this. Okay, it gives me oh sorry, I need to write. Okay, so fine, I'm getting basically a data frame. So I think you guys can understand. So suppose if I told you that just with the help of a Boolean masking, try to basically try to get only those data columns which whose data type is nothing but an object. So you can just try to copy and paste the same thing inside this square bracket. Okay, so this is what this is what a Boolean masking. Okay, so in this place also I can basically give a simple assignment. Okay, so you can do maybe one more kind of a Boolean masking. Okay, so there is two things inside a sex column. Okay, so a male and a female, two categories. Okay, so maybe you can access only a male columns. Okay, so maybe you can access basically only a male rows. Okay, so wherever the basically category is male, So you can access just that thing. Okay, so you can leave a female column for female rows, and you can access only the male rows. That is what that is also a kind of a masking. Okay, now if I try to describe, okay, so if I try to basically, if I try to describe this thing, yes, I'm able to describe. So tightening dot go dot basically a describe. So I'm able to basically do this kind of a job. Okay, so I think yes, you are able to observe this thing. So this is what a frequency. Okay, so this is a frequency. So how many times that particular values are basically repeated. Okay, so top values. So top values, the value which basically comes most of the time so it tries to give it as a top value. So comes at 577 times. So out of 891, 577 are males. Okay, so definitely 570 male is come most of the time. Then the unique values. Okay, so how many unique categories inside the sex column? So there are 2 unique categories available inside the sex column. Then a 681 unique ticket numbers are there. Then a 147 unique cabin are basically present out of 204, and there are 3 embarked columns. Okay, so 3 basically embarked 3 categories inside a embarked column. Okay, and the top is S. So S comes most number of the time. Okay, so out of 891, 644 times S is come. Okay, so in this way, so this frequency is nothing but what? This frequency is nothing but a mode of my data set. Okay, guys. So I think yes, you are able to understand basically these things. Now, suppose okay, so this stage is not become a permanent. Okay, so you just try to access O. Suppose again, if I try to access a complete data set with the help of it. Yes, so I'm trying. I can definitely access it. Now, if I try to use if I try to basically delete one column. Okay, so suppose if I want to delete maybe one column, so how I can basically delete one column. Okay, so for deleting one column, definitely you have a different kind of functions which is available, maybe a drop function. So with the help of a drop function, you can uh, you can definitely delete maybe one column. There is no issue. But but there is also a different kind of a way. Okay, so with the help of a del operator. Okay, so del is nothing but a delete operator. So with the help of a delete operator, or you can say like with the help of a del operator, you can delete any one of the column. Okay, so maybe so just write a name of your data frame. So titanium, and then just give a column which you want to delete. Okay, so suppose if I want to delete a ticket column. Now if you run this titanium data set again, so you are not able to see the ticket column. Okay, so ticket column is removed. Yes, so after a parts column, the ticket column is there, but here you are able to see that ticket column. You are able to remove this ticket column. Fine. Now, what is basically a different way through which you can drop any one column. So I think maybe if I just try to check, okay, so which column is not giving any kind of information. So I think there is a passenger ID column which is not giving me any kind of information for making a prediction whether the passenger is going to survive or not. Okay, so at last my main agenda is to make an analysis, and my main agenda is to make a prediction for a future data set. But I think but a passenger ID is not helping me in any way for making any kind of analysis or for making any kind of a prediction. So I can drop this passenger ID column. Okay, so what is basically a different way? Okay, so what is another way of basically dropping any kind of a column? Okay, so if I try to drop maybe a passenger ID, so how I can basically drop this thing? So Titanic dot drop, and then I can give basically a column name. So what is the column name which I tried to drop? So passenger ID. So Titanic dot drop passenger ID. And so suppose if I'm trying to drop this passenger ID. Okay, so guys, just try to be a little bit interactive, and maybe if I try to run this program, so I'm getting an error. So just try to get, okay, so it is giving me an error that passenger ID not found in access. So anyone can basically think that why it is giving me this kind of an error that passenger ID is not found in access. Okay, but as we can see that passenger ID is available in my access. Okay, so it is available in so a passenger ID is available as a column, but I am not able to drop it, and it is giving me an error that passenger ID is not available in the is basically not found in access. So anyone can basically tell me the error or how I can basically remove this error, and then I am able to drop a passenger ID column. Anyone? Okay, I think no one is, I think, trying to do along with me. Or maybe you just skip tomorrow yesterday's session basically thing where I'm trying to discuss about the axis. Okay, so I think there is you can put axis value as 0 and axis value as 1. Okay, so if you try to check along with the shift tab, so you can check that x by default your axis is equal to what? 0. Okay, so axis is equal to 0 means what? I think you are able to read this thing here itself. Okay, so you don't need to basically Google it. Okay, so even you don't need to Google it, you can read this thing here itself. That axis is equal to 0 means what? Axis is equal to 0 means you can learn this, that axis is equal to 0 means what? A row, and axis is equal to 1 means what? Column. Okay, so you are trying to drop this passenger ID from a row, but there is no passenger ID available in a row. Okay, so in a row there is a 0, 1, 2. These are the values which is present in a row. Okay, but there is no passenger ID. Okay, so if you want to basically remove or drop from a column, so you need to change your axis. Okay, so you need to change your axis, and your axis becomes 1. Now, if you try to basically drop this particular column, passenger ID column, so yes, you are able to drop this passenger ID column. Okay, so now your passenger ID column is not available. But suppose if I try to run this Titanic data set again, so if I try to run this Titanic data set maybe again, so I'm able to basically see a passenger ID column again. Okay, so I'm not basically so my passenger ID column is not removed at all. Okay, so my passenger ID column is not removed at all, and I think if I when I try to drop basically a ticket column, so yes, I'm able to remove it correctly. Okay, so there is no issue. But when I'm trying to basically drop a passenger ID column by using a drop function, so I'm not able to remove it. Okay, so I'm not able to drop it. Okay, so why this thing happens? So just try to press shift tab again and then try to check. Okay, so there is one thing inside this which is called in place. Okay, so in place is false. Okay, so you just make it so you can just do one change. So instead of in place equals to false, make it true. Now, yes, it is able to drop your passenger ID column. So the change is not at basically. So now the change is not a temporary. The change becomes a permanent. Okay. So this is how you can basically drop a single column with the help of a drop function. Now, suppose if I want to drop a multiple columns. Okay, so suppose if if I want to drop maybe a multiple columns, so how I can basically drop a multiple columns? Okay, and don't worry. Again, if you try to basically read a data set, so that columns is basically come. So don't worry. So maybe if I try to drop two columns altogether. Okay, so maybe one column is maybe my you can say cabin column. Okay, because there is a lot of null values inside this cabin column, so maybe it is not giving me any kind of information, so I can drop this cabin column. And maybe I can also drop what, so Okay, and I can also drop, okay, maybe a embarked column. No issue. So if I try to drop these two columns, so how I can basically drop these two columns all together? Okay, so how I can basically drop these two columns all together? So for that purpose, you need to basically put this column inside a list, and then you can try to drop this column. But it is giving you error. Okay, so that is fine. You just need to add a comma, and then if you try to check whether this column is dropped or not. Yes, so yes, you are able to drop these two columns, fine. So your cabin and embarked column is now dropped, and yes, you are getting basically your data set without cabin and without embarked column. Okay, and there is one, and definitely you can basically add two columns and then create a one new column. Okay, so you can perform this kind of operation. So you can definitely add two columns, and by adding those two columns, you can create one new column for yourself. Okay, so how you can basically do this kind of a thing? Okay, so how you can create a new column by adding or by maybe a subtracting or maybe by doing any kind of a interpolation. Okay, so that is called an interpolation operation. So interpolation, you can perform an addition or maybe you can perform a multiplication also. So you just try to create a new column with the help of any two columns present inside your data set. Okay, so how you can basically create that kind of a column? Okay, so Titanic, and then you need to mention a name of your new column. Okay, so I just try to mention I just try to take a same name. Okay, so new column, and then inside this new column, basically I can write in this way. Okay, so I can write in maybe in this way. So a Titanic, so Titanic, and then I can basically add maybe a two columns. So a SIP SP. Okay, so SIP SP, and then a second column is what? So second column is nothing but a parse. Okay, so I can, okay, so I just try to create a new column with the help of two columns which is already present in my data set. Okay, so with the help of two existing column, I am trying to basically create what I am trying to create a new column. So that is completely fine. There is no issue. You can basically do this kind of a job. Okay, and definitely there is basically a no issue. So, okay, so if I try to basically do this thing, and if you try to check this thing, okay, so whether you are able to create a new column or not. Yes, so a new column is created with the help of these two columns. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 plus 0 is 1, and maybe you can definitely where there is basically a 2 ones, so it becomes a 2, yeah, and 3 plus 1 is 4, 0 plus 2 is 2, fine. So yes, you can do this kind of a thing. Okay, so this is nothing but called a interpolation operation. So this is nothing. This is called a interpolation operation. Now, with the help of a pandas, you can do definitely one or two more things. Okay, so and definitely you can in I decide to take a two class or two session on a pandas only for the reason because pandas is a little bit bigger. Okay, so in so there is definitely a more operation or a more conceptual thing in comparison to numpy. So I think in today's session I just tried to took a more two more basically a kind of information, and then in tomorrow's session I will try to basically create a data frame by ourselves. Okay, so by us. Okay, so you can I told you that you can create a data set by yourself. So in a tomorrow session I can create a data set by me itself, and then I can basically do maybe I can try to do some more operations. Okay, so there is an operation called a log function, then there is a ilog function, then there is a ix function which is available inside pandas. Then there is a very important function which is called a group by. Then you can also concatenate, you can also basically merge two data frames all together, and definitely we are trying to observe this kind of a thing in our tomorrow's session. But before that, okay, so suppose if you try to check the distribution of your data set, okay, so in a sex column you know that you are having a two values, okay, so you know that in a sex column you are having a two categories, okay, so a male and a female. Okay, now if you want to check a distribution, okay, so if you want to check the distribution, so how many males are there, and then you want to check how many females are there. Okay, so for that purpose you can write in this way, okay, so titanium, the inside this is, and definitely dot click with the help of a dot also you can do that thing, sex, and then you can write value counts. Okay, so with the help of this value counts function you can observe that there is a 577 males which is present inside this Titanic ship, and 314 females are there. Okay, so 577 males are there and 314 females are there, which is on that basically, uh, you can say uh, on that ship. Okay, and in this way you can also basically check the value count of maybe another thing. Okay, so maybe you can also check for a survived column, because survived column is the most important one, so you can check inside a survived column. Okay, so and with this information, okay, so with the help of a value count itself, you can in a visualization section, you can in a visualization session I will tell you that how you can basically make this kind of analysis, that how many males are survived and then how many females are survived. Okay, so this things is basically okay, so in maybe a day after tomorrow session. Okay, so Titanic and inside a survived, so you can check that 342 people are survived, and then there is a 549 people who are not able to survive. Okay, in the same way, you can check basically a P class, and you can make a comparison between a sex and a survived column, and you can make a comparison between a P class and a survived column, and this is a you can say with respect to this data set. Okay, so with respect to this data set, this is a most important analysis. Okay, so this is the most important analysis with respect to this data set, that how many females are survived, then how many males are survived, then how many basically how many people inside a P class, so in which class people are more survived. Okay, so in which class, maybe in a P class 1, or maybe in a P class 2, or maybe in a P class 3, in which class people are mostly survived. Okay, so you can make this kind of analysis with the help of a pandas and with the help of a Seaborn and a Matplot library. Okay, which is our visualization library. Okay, so step by step we are walking towards a data analysis part. Okay, so definitely step by step, I think two more sessions are left after this. So step by step we are we are walking towards a data analysis kind of a thing. And definitely on Sunday I will take one special data set, and then I will try to took some questions from that data set, and with our analysis we are trying to give the answers of that questions. Okay, now if I try to check one more function inside a pandas. Okay, so I think we have still we have a 5 or 6 minutes of a time, so I can try to talk about one more function. Okay, so Titanic, and this function is not very tough. This is just 1 minute of time it will take. So Titanic dot is null dot sum. Okay, so Titanic dot is null. So okay, so let me do it step by step. So Titanic dot is null means what? Okay, so is there any null values present inside a data set? Okay, so if there is any null value inside present inside a data set, so it will basically say true. Okay, so in a age column there is some null values which is present, right? So it basically tells like a true. Okay, and if you try to basically use a sum operator, so sum means what? It is try to sum all the null values. Okay, so all the null values which is present inside a data set. Okay, so sum means what? It will try to give you the summation of all the null values, count of all the null values. Okay, so now you can get basically a summation of all the null values. So there is basically about 177 null values are present inside this particular age column of my data set, of my Titanic data set. Fine. Okay, I think you are able to understand the meaning of this is null dot sum. Okay. So I think everyone is able to understand this till this point. So I just try to wrap up this session, and then we are trying to talk about more about the pandas in a tomorrow session. Okay. So fine, guys, and just a last thing. So maybe you are trying to you just basically filter your data set. You are just trying to drop some columns, and then maybe yes, you are able to drop some columns, and maybe you are trying to create one new column. And suppose you are able, maybe with some theory or with some concept, you maybe try to cover all these null values also. So after that you are trying to some, because okay, so yes, you are able to see these changes on this particular Jupyter notebook. Maybe if you try to open that this Excel file, okay, so this Titanic Excel file again, so you're not going to see the same changes again. Okay, so suppose if you are trying to basically check this Excel file again, so you are not able to see that the basically same changes again. So you are able to find out a same data set which you are trying to basically read at a very first point. Okay, so you are trying to see this data set again. Okay, so if I run this code again, okay, so pd.read.csv, so you are able to see this data set again. Okay, so you are not find basically the changes which you are trying to make. Okay, so you just remove the passenger id column, you just drop the passenger id column, then you drop the cabin column, embarked column, ticket column, and then you also try to basically create one new column, but you are not able to basically see these changes in an original Excel sheet or in an original CSV file. Okay, so suppose after making all these changes, you want to create your own CSV file. Okay, so you want to create your own CSV file for this particular Titanic data. So you want to create your own Titanic data set, and you want to store this thing in a form of an Excel sheet or maybe in a form of a CSV file. So whether you are able to do this thing or not, yes, definitely you can do this thing. So how you can basically able you can basically do this kind of a job with the help of a pandas. So for that purpose, pandas give you one more functionality which is called a tool. Okay, so with the help of a tool, so in a same way, where so this is called what? So so here you are trying to read a data set. Okay, now you are trying to write your data set. Okay, so you are trying to write your own data set. Okay, so you just take maybe any kind of a name or maybe anything, so that you can also utilize that thing. So maybe if I try to write basically new. Okay, so in a new, if I try to basically store your data set. Okay, so Titanic dot to CSV. Okay, so Titanic dot to CSV, and then I try to store this thing with a new name. Okay, so new dot CSV. Fine. Now if I'm trying to run this basically a new. Okay, so if I try to basically read this new data frame. Okay, so okay, fine. So if I try to do this thing, okay, so df is equals to pd dot read csv. Okay, and then if I try to read this data set, okay, so new dot csv. So yes, you are getting this kind of a data set. Fine. Now, if I basically show you, so that is nothing. You can basically use a reset index operation. I will tell you about a reset index operation in next lecture. So that is completely fine. But you can observe that yes, you are able to write your own data set. Okay, so and I can basically show you that because this data set is basically saved at a same location, because you are not basically change your location, so it is able to save on a same location. Okay, so inside a new .csv. Okay, so if we are able to see the new .csv, okay, so this is what, this is a new .csv file. Okay, and you can save it in any manner. Okay, so suppose in this place I just use a separator. Okay, so I just want to play with this thing a little bit, so I can use a separator like this. Okay, now if you run this program and if you're trying to refresh this thing, so yes, your separator is changes. Okay, so now your separator is at the rate. Fine. Okay, so this is all a kind of a thing. This is all a different kinds of operation or different kinds of function which is available inside a pandas, and you can perform all this kind of basically operation or functions with the help of a pandas. Okay, guys. So I think this is all about our today's session. And if anyone is having any kind of a confusion or any kind of a query, so yes, you guys can ask your query or questions. You guys can maybe you guys can also write in a comment box, in a chat box. Yes, no doubt if you are able to understand each and everything, so you can write yes, reply with Y in a chat box. Okay. Okay, guys. So everyone is writing yes, yes. So yes, I think everyone is able to understand. And again, so I will basically try to give you this notebook today itself, so that you guys can maybe practice a little bit. And definitely there is more function. So that is why I basically separate this Panda session in two parts. Okay, so Pandas 1 and Pandas 2, because Pandas is a little bit maybe yeah. So there inside a Panda, so concepts are a little bit higher and in comparison to NumPy. So in tomorrow session, I will try to cover all those concepts which are basically left in which are basically left, and that is definitely an important one. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and try to practice it. Try to practice it by your own. In that way, your concept becomes you are able to understand this thing in much easier way. Okay, so. Becomes more clear to you if you try to do it by your own. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Bye bye, and happy Mahashivratri to all of you again.